Welcome to the Potomac and Chesapeake Association for College Admissions Counseling Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Nashira and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/PCACAC. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, Hollins University.
All right, thank you so much for letting me start us off today. My name is Chelsea DeTorres, and I am the Assistant Director of Admission over at Hollins. I am so excited to be talking to you today, and since we have a lot to get through, let's get started. So it might be useful to note where we are. Hollins is located in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. The city of Roanoke is a small but vibrant community with a thriving downtown and countless outdoor recreation opportunities. Our campus is a convenient 15 minutes away from shops, museums, restaurants, the airport. We're also located fairly conveniently to other metropolitan areas such as DC, Richmond, Charlotte. These are all places that not only do our students use as potential day trips, but also potential housing and living situations for our internships with alums in the area. A couple of quick facts about us. As the school founded in 1842, we are Virginia's oldest historically women's college. What that means is we now thrive on giving our students a strong liberal arts education and allow them to choose from 29 majors and 30 minors to figure out what they're really passionate about. With an average class size of 11, students are supported throughout this process with close relationships with both their professors and advisors. Outside of academics, we have a thriving Division III athletic team that competes in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. For more information, and I will put this in the chat later, you can visit hollandsports.com to learn about our recruiting techniques. Here at Hollins, despite our small size, we really value having a diverse blend of community, perspectives, and just connection. About a third of our students are students who identify as students of color and or Hispanic or Latinx. What this means for our current students and incoming students is that our community really tries to embrace students for who they are, and we want this to feel like home for everyone. In fact, one of the things that students who end up coming to Hollins say is that they felt like they were at home from the moment they stepped on campus. Here on campus, you can start to find your people in over 27 different groups, people who have the same interests or connections that you are, or if we don't have a group, club, organization that fits what you're looking for, you can actually bring your idea, the Constitution, and some interested members to our Senate meeting every week. This allows you to start something as unique and interesting as the mariachi band that we had start during the pandemic, where students would join a surprise mariachi band and it would be around every corner where you were least expecting it. This also means I should talk about our student government with the Senate. Our Senate is a really active organization. We have over 80 elected positions, and whether you show up once, never, or every week, you are allowed to vote on all things before the Senate as an automatic member of our Student Government Association. We're also firm believers in experiential learning, and through our Rutherford Center, we guarantee access to study abroad, research, internships, leadership lectures, and community engagement. We really believe that in order to get the most benefit out of your academic career, you actually have to get some hands-on experience, and we offer a lot of different ways to make sure you get that hands-on learning. On this page, you'll see a couple of our highlights that might help you figure out whether or not Hollins might be the place for you. And while I don't have a really strong definition of the typical Hollins student, I think it's actually their uniqueness and their passion for what they're passionate about that defines a Hollins student. We're really big into not only making you the best you can be, but learning about who you are and making that shine. If any of this sounds good, let's talk about the application process really quick. It's free to apply to Hollins, and you can use either the Common App or our website at hollins.edu. In addition to the app yourself, which includes an essay, we ask for your high school transcript and either a secondary school report from your counselor or a letter of recommendation, and you can submit up to 3 letters. We're also completely test optional, and we truly mean test optional. We consider students for both admission and scholarships, whether or not they choose to submit those test scores. To give you an idea of where our students fall, the average GPA of this past year's students was about a 3.7. And keep in mind, this is an average, but our review actually is very holistic. We put a lot of consideration into your essay, your extracurriculars, your letter of recommendation, and even any demonstrated interest you have in us. Through this holistic review process, we really want to get to know you personally and may start emailing you and asking you questions just to get to know who you are. We have a couple of different application deadlines, including early decision, early action, and a regular decision. The early decision is our only binding agreement, and it is due November 1st. This means if you get into Hollins, you've agreed to come to us and no other college. The other 2 decisions both give you until May 1st. And if you choose either of them, you still are required to the same thing. The only difference is early action lets you know very early that you got in. At Hollins, we guarantee at least $24,000 in grants and scholarships annually for all first-year students, and our average award amount is about $37,000. We have a bunch more virtual visits coming up, so feel free to check out our website. But thanks for listening to my chat today. I have some contact information here that I will copy over, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks all.
Thank you, Hollins University. We'll now have University of Richmond.
Awesome, thank you. Let me share my screen. Perfect, and 1 second. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Jose Garcia. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for Diversity Outreach and Partnerships here at the University of Richmond. Real quick, guys, just give you a quick glimpse of us overall, and I'll get into some more detail. But for us, we are a school that's some very strong academics. Just recently got ranked number 22 by U.S. News World Report by the for liberal arts colleges. We talk about resources. We'll talk about the Richmond Guarantee a little bit. We are a school, one of the few in the nation that meet 100% demonstrated need, which means that we give very generous financial aid packages. And we talk about diversity on our campus, not just from the racial and ethnic, but socioeconomic, everything across the board. But we also talk about, from that point, our educational diversity, where 2/3 of our kids will actually graduate with a degree, with 2 or more degrees by the time they leave here in 4 years. But real quick about us, where we're located. We're actually located in the city of Richmond, Virginia. We're 6 miles from downtown. It's a great location. This is an aerial view of our campus. We're about 350 acres of land. It's beautiful because we're 2 hours from DC. We're 2 hours from the Virginia Beach. We're 2 hours from the mountains. But again, being located right next to the city of Richmond, I say in the suburbs, it's an awesome location because of the fact you have the quietness of our campus, but then only 6 miles away, you have downtown, you have everything from that point. And again, Richmond is an awesome city, the most diverse city in the state of Virginia. And from that point, just a lot of different connection pieces you'll see, from business to music to food scene, everything from there at our fingertips. For us, we're about 3,200 students. So not a small, not a medium, medium kind of school. Small classes, average about 99% of our classes are 30 people or less. Average class size is 16 with an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We do guarantee housing on campus. 90% of our kids do live on campus all 4 years, free parking. This is a very vibrant campus. We talk about here being not only a strong academic school, but we want you to be involved. So we talk about work hard, play hard. And the way you play hard here is being involved outside the classroom. That comes from our clubs and organizations. We have over 180 different clubs and organizations. About 30% of our campus does some sort of Greek life. We are a D1 school. Love saying we're the only spider in the nation. Very strong, mighty school. For us, we have every 17 different Division I sports, 32 different club sports. But then you also have the arts, theater, dance, just a lot to do here. A lot of our kids volunteer, also work on campus. You see a lot of different things. The average student is involved in 3 to 4 clubs in their lifetime. One thing that I know you guys are looking at is our academics. When you come to Richmond, you actually come in as an undeclared major. And what happens is we want to make sure you get a basis. So the liberal arts curriculum, getting that lot of smattering of a lot of different classes. After your first year, then you get select where you want to choose from. You have 3 different colleges. You have the School of Arts and Science, you have our Robbins School of Business, and you have one school that we were the first university to ever have one in the nation, the Jepson School of Leadership Studies, which leadership studies basically invokes and promotes your internal, external leadership qualities and connects you to a current track or prepare for jobs that may not exist. We always give the example of YouTube influencers. No one knew about that job 10 years ago, and now we have the students that are prepared for that. And you see in the middle, I talked about before, that educational diversity. 2 out of 3 of our students will graduate with multiple degrees within 4 years, because nowadays people want you to be multi-diverse, educationally diverse. So you can get a degree from arts and science and business, from leadership studies and arts and science, whatever you can think of, we'll get you ready for that. Next, we talk about resources. One thing we're really proud of is we're going to make sure we give you every resource possible to be successful. The biggest one we talk about is the Richmond Guarantee, where we guarantee at least one summer, if not multiple summers, you will be given up to a $4,000 grant, not a loan, but a grant to do whatever you want career path-wise. Maybe it's an internship back at home but doesn't pay you, pay yourself. Maybe it's one across the country. They are paying you, but not enough for housing, pay for your own housing. Maybe it's research. Whatever you can think of, it's going to help you on your career track, you can use this Richmond Guarantee. And I said it's guaranteed one summer. Most of our kids use it 2, if not 3 summers. So again, we're giving you that opportunity to have that experience, that med schools, law schools, that first job we're going to want to have. The other thing we want you to do is go explore, see the world. One thing we're proud of, we are the 2nd most studied abroad school in the nation. 67% of our kids will go abroad at one point or another. And that's a semester, a year, a summer, or a 10-day trip. Whatever you can think of, whatever you want to feel out, we want you to go explore. You're not restricted by your major, by a language, and there's also grants we help you there. Every time you study abroad, we give you up to $1,000 to help pay for flights, pay for visas, whatever needs to help you on top of that. You can use your Richmond Guarantee to study abroad if it's career related. So a lot of great things from that point. And we are one of the first universities to kind of slowly get back into the study abroad, again, being safe with our students across the board. This is a glimpse of our first year class coming in. We actually are a very diverse class. You see, we have kids from all over the nation, all over the world, very diverse ethnically. 29% of our kids actually identifies students of color. About 11% identifies international students. But we love seeing our class because you get everywhere from around the world. I will say we are a selective institution. Last year we had almost 14,000 applications. We did admit a little over 4,000, or about a 29% acceptance rate, and we enrolled about 890. When you look at this scale, we do recalculate on a 4.0 scale. So for us last year, the incoming freshman last year was between a 3.73 and a 4.0 GPA. I will say this though, we are test optional. There is no disadvantage or advantage by turning your test score in or not. It is your choice. If you do turn in test scores, these are the averages for our admitted student last year. Again, 25% fell above, 25% fell below. So for us, we are an early decision, early action, regular decision school. Here are the glimpses of what we need to get from you guys when it comes to applying. We are on the Common App as well as the Coalition application. So for us, when you apply, you'll actually get a spider portal that kind of gives you a glimpse of where the live checklist for not only all your admissions documents, but all your financial aid documents. On the side, we do require 2 forms if you're looking to be considered for any kind of financial aid. That would be the FAFSA and the CSS profile. My last thing, guys, this is my contact information. Take out your phone, click it, save it. Please contact me. I'll leave some information in the back about visits, everything at that point. But guys, thank you guys. And I hopefully see you guys on campus or visit, and hopefully see you guys next year as a Spider.
Thank you, University of Richmond. We'll now have James Madison University join us.
Hi, good evening. Let me get my screen share here. All right, great. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. My name is Julie Huffman. I am an admissions counselor at James Madison University. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about us today. I know it's going to be fast. So if you want to connect afterwards, I'm going to have my contact info in the chat. But I also want to take the time to invite you to join our mailing list. If you go to j.mu/more-info, you will get on our mailing list. We'll send you tips. We'll remind you about deadlines, scholarships, all that. So if you want to take a minute, you can do that now as well. And then I'll talk to you through this presentation. So this slide has some of our facts and figures on it. James Madison is a mid-sized public institution in Virginia. So we are located in Harrisonburg. We are also on the western side of the state in the mountains. We are about 20,000, just under 20,000 undergraduate students and just under 2,000 graduate students. So we are geared towards an undergraduate experience. We want you to come and thrive. We are a fully residential campus. We have tons of great support for you on campus, a whole building designated to student success called the Student Success Center. We also have some of the best dining in the country. We are usually in the top 20 best college dining. This last year we were number 12. If you like to eat, you want to come, we have all you can eat dining halls. We also have lots of restaurants and popular places that you probably know on campus. We are a Division I school, so sports are really big at JMU. We've been kind of up there in athletics the last couple of years. Our women's softball went to the World Series. We're really proud of them. And we have been gone far, went to the national championship in our division in football. We did not win that game, but we are still really big into school spirit. So if you like that type of atmosphere, you want to be involved in kind of a big campus, but still have a smaller size classroom feel, JMU might be the place for you. So this has kind of the overview here on the screen about some of those other facts that I might not have mentioned. Moving into our admissions process, we try to keep it as simple as possible. We have 3 ways you can now apply to JMU. We are newly on the Common App this year, so you can use that. We are also on the Coalition, as well as having our own JMU application. So whichever way is easiest for you, you can apply to JMU. What we're then looking for in the application is the type of classes that you have taken in high school. For us, the coursework, the academic college preparedness courses are what we really value heavily. So if your school offers AP, IB, dual enrollment, we want to see that you've taken those classes. We are, again, going to be looking at your core curriculum, so your math and your science, your your language and your history. And that's what we're going to focus on. There's no minimum GPA. We don't have like a cutoff because we review based on your high school and what is offered to you, but students do typically have A's and B's in their core classes. The SAT is also not required or completely score optional. So it's not something that's going to impact or we're going to look at in the application process. We are also having 2 deadlines. We have the early action November 1 and our final regular decision is January 15th. Early action is non-binding. So the benefit to applying early is you don't have to worry about everything over the holidays and you can get it off your plate early, but we're going to review applications in the same way for both of those. In terms of the academics, I mentioned a little bit about our classrooms, in the small campus feel. Our average class size is 25. So being an undergraduate institution focused on teaching, your professors are going to really give you a lot of opportunities for hands-on things. We also care about experiential learning. So getting out there, doing research, doing a practicum, study abroad, all of that is a highlight of a JMU education. About 80% of our students are doing one of those hands-on things while they're here. These are all of our academic colleges that we have at JMU. There's over 165 different majors that are in all of these programs. And I like to highlight that students really customize their experience. We have so many students that are double majors or a major with a minor. And a good example of how diverse of those programs can be is we have a student who's actually a chemistry and a musical theater major. You think that those things don't go together. Well, they were able to not only mix their passions for both those subjects, but their thesis was actually to create a musical about chemistry. It was called Bonded, the Musical. So it was a musical experience about science. Really interesting, just one of the examples of cool things that JMU student has done and combining what they're passionate about. A little more about where we're located, and here's a good map for reference. We are 2 hours from DC, 2 hours from Richmond, also about 2 hours from Roanoke. So kind of in the central part of the Shenandoah Valley with the mountains all around us, as you can see in my background. The town of Harrisonburg is a small town, but we are in the downtown part of it. So you can walk to all kinds of restaurants, cool shops, there's music, there's festivals. But if you also like outdoorsy things, you can very easily get outdoors. Within 30 minutes of campus, you can drive to Madison Resort and there's skiing and snowboarding. We're also surrounded by the National Forest and the Shenandoah National Park. So if you like hiking, canoeing, or just taking beautiful Instagram photos, we have some great overlook spots to do that. So it's really a best of both worlds environment. That's pretty much all I have to talk about. On this last slide, I have my contact or admissions contact information. And I just want to encourage you to come visit us. We are open for visits each day. We're also having an open house coming up, so we hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you, James Madison University. Next, we have Radford University.
Hello, hello. Give me 1 second. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Alrighty, hi everyone. My name is Guadalupe Sanchez, and I serve as the Assistant Director of Multicultural Recruitment for Radford University. And today I'm going to talk to you about your journey to becoming a Highlander. So first and foremost, I want to talk to you all about our campus. We are a 4-year public institution in Virginia, and we're located down in Southwest Virginia. So the really great thing about our geographic location is that we're surrounded by the mountains. We kind of have the tail end of the Blue Ridge Mountains. So there's so many different opportunities for students to enjoy the great outdoors. If you like hiking, if you like paddleboarding, if you like fishing, all those outdoorsy things are definitely things that you can take advantage of at our campus. Another great thing about our institution is that we're a mid-sized school. So we're not too big, but also not too small. I do like to say that we're kind of that perfect mid-sized institution for a lot of students. And we also do take a lot of pride in our first generation population. So currently about 30% of our students are first-gen students that are the first in their families to attend a 4-year institution. So that is definitely something that we are very proud of at Radford. So just kind of going based off of the experience at Radford, being a tight-knit, mid-sized university, that definitely trickles down to the classroom experience for the university as well. So currently at Radford, our average class size for students is about 20 students per class, and this is usually your freshman and sophomore year, and then as you're progressing within your specific major, those classes tend to drop even more in size. So for your junior and your senior year, you're looking at about 15 to 20 students per class, and that just allows for you to have those lively conversations with your peers in the classroom. And currently our student to faculty ratio is also 14:1. So the great thing about that is that you do get a personalized educational experience within the university, and you have direct access to your faculty. So you're never going to feel like a number at Radford. We definitely do take good care of our students, and you will know your professors by name, and they will also know you by name, which is really great. Currently, about only 3% of the classes at Radford University are taught by graduate assistants. The rest of the courses are taught by professors with terminal degrees. So that just lets students know that you are going to be learning from the very best within their respective fields. And currently, we do have about 108 academic programs that you all can choose from. I like to say that we do have a little bit of everything for everyone at Radford. You can see the full list of all of the different colleges that we offer our students. However, we also do have the Academic Success Center. And basically what this is, it's just an opportunity for students that maybe have multiple interests, or maybe you're undecided and you're not sure exactly what it is that you want to major in. That's completely okay. You can come in as undecided and we can help you figure it out, whatever it is that you're wanting to major in, and also the career that you want to go into once you're ready to enter the workforce. So this here will give you just kind of a sense of all of the academic programs that we have at Radford. We have lots of different opportunities for students, but we also do take a very multidisciplinary approach to your education. So if you're wanting to combine majors, you're wanting to do a double major, you're wanting to add a minor to your program, that is definitely an option that is available for you. We definitely do have lots of different flexibility when it comes to your schedule and making sure that you can tap into different departments for that multidisciplinary education within the university. And regardless of which program it is that you decide to do at Radford, we also want to make sure that you do apply that knowledge into a hands-on environment. So we highly encourage students to participate in internships and research opportunities with faculty. So a little bit about student life. We have a very vibrant student life at Radford. 16 D1 athletic departments. Our big sports at Radford are currently men's and women's basketball. So we definitely do have lots of opportunities for students to be involved in D1 sports. However, if you're not into competitive sports, it's also completely okay. We have intramural sports and other club sports that you can participate in as well. And we also have 300 clubs and organizations that you all can be a part of. So there is a little bit of everything for every student at Radford. And these are academic-based organizations as well as organizations that are more social, such as fraternities and sororities and things of that nature. We also have lots of different resources for students. The Harvey Knowledge Center is one that I always like to point out, just because that is the tutoring center for Radford. You can basically receive tutoring for any of your classes within the university, as well as participate in the Writing Center that's located in the Harvey Knowledge Center. And the Writing Center just allows for someone to look at your essays, get a second pair of eyes on your writing, and it just provides students with additional resources outside of the classroom. So for Radford University, we are considered to be one of the most affordable state schools in Virginia. So currently your cost of attendance for the university is $21,554 if you are in state. If you're out of state, that is about $33,000 for the year. And this is the full cost of attendance for the year. So this includes your tuition and fees, your housing, and your meal plan. However, this is your sticker price. So this is not the amount of money that you will end up paying. You will be able to qualify for merit scholarships as well as need-based scholarship opportunities as well. And very quickly, you can submit your application to Radford through the Common App or through our website. It is a free application. And the only other document that we need to complete your application is your official high school transcript. We are 100% test optional, so you don't have to worry about submitting SAT or ACT test scores. You will be considered for both admissions and scholarship opportunities without test scores. Personal statement and letters of recommendation are also completely optional. So I tell students, look at that middle 50% that you see on the screen there. If you find yourself in that lower end of the middle 50%, definitely submit those optional items to our office. And that is all the information that I have for you all today. My contact information is on the screen, so definitely feel free to reach out if you have any questions about Radford University. And I look forward to speaking with you all in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Radford University. And next we'll have Richard Bland College of William and Mary.
Let me share my screen real quick. All righty, guys. We are starting off right here. Go to the next slide. We are Virginia's only selective residential 2-year junior college in the state of Virginia. So 2-year junior college is going to operate similar to community college, except we do have dorms on our campus, and I have a slide for that in a little bit. We have about 35 guaranteed transfer agreements from our college to other colleges here in Virginia. Kind of at a glance, founded in 1960 as that daughter school of William and Mary, and we remain that to this day. We have right around 20 students per class. 76% of your classes are taught by full-time professors. Another 24% are just going to be part-time professors that might have a class or two rather than a full course load. Last year's numbers, we had right around a 50% admission rate. The only required document for a completed application is a copy of your transcript. If you look there on the right, that's a breakdown of this year's incoming class with about 42% white students, 58% non-white students, and about 32% of our students are first-generation students. So we got a wide variety of people here on our campus. Overall, we have right around about 1,000 students between first-year students and second-year students. That 2,300 number right there includes our dual enrollments as well. So there are high school students. What you're going to study here at Richard Bland, we have 2 different types of associate's degrees that we offer. We have the Associates of Arts, which is going to cover kind of your arts and humanities. And then the science is going to be broken down to kind of fit the needs of what students are going to pursue once they transfer from us. So you have the behavioral sciences, which is more like psychology, business administration, math and computer science, physical science, life science, and then the clinical lab science is going to cover kind of your introduction to anything that is going to be in the medical field. So if you look there at the bottom, it has that breakdown. So currently you are in high school. Then your first 2 years you're going to spend here at Richard Bland, taking care of your associate's degrees, all those kind of prerequisite type classes, graduate from us, and then transfer to finish out your bachelor's degree at a 4-year college to do years 3 and 4, so your junior and senior year. Here on our campus, you're going to have a learner mentor, which is an academic advisor assigned to each student. So they're going to kind of help you figuring out the courses that you need to graduate from Richard Bland, but also to figure out what you need to do in order to transfer. So all of our transfer agreements will have gen ed requirement classes that you need to take, GPAs, credit hours. And so they're going to be your main point of contact for kind of figuring all that stuff out here, but also looking forward to that transfer agreement that you'll take part in after you get your associate's degree. Here on campus, we do have dorms. That's what kind of separates us from a community college. We will have apartment style housing options. So within that dorm, you're going to have a full kitchen, 2 full bathrooms, full laundry room, living room area, and you're going to share this with either 5, we have 6 occupants or 4 occupants this year. So this is going to be kind of more like what you would expect to have kind of off-campus housing, but this is going to be available for you for your first 2 years here. We do have free parking, and at the end of that kind of picture is where the parking lot is located. Here on campus, what you can get involved in, we do have some Division I in the Junior College Athletic Association sports. We have basketball, soccer, and baseball for the men, softball, volleyball, sand volleyball, and soccer for the women. And like I said, these sports are Division I. They are recruited by the coaches. So if you're interested, get on our website, find the coaches' information and let them know. But if you don't want to compete intercollegiately, we do have intramurals as well. And then the student clubs or organizations are going to be what students are proactive in starting. So we have a lot of different clubs that we have here on campus, depending on what students are interested in. As long as you have 2 students, so yourself and a friend, to be the president treasurer of the club, you can easily start a club here at Richard Bland. This is going to be a breakdown of our scholarships. So that first box there at the top left breaks down tuition and fees. This is what we like to call our sticker price. So this is not going to be what students are going to pay, because you're going to have some scholarships, whether it's through FAFSA or the 3 scholarships listed here. So most students are going to take part in our Statesman Scholars. This is going to be based off of your GPA as well as your estimated family contribution as determined by FAFSA. So if you have at least a 3.0 GPA, you will get a percentage of your overall total cost covered by the college through Statesman Scholars. The Promise and Islanders there on the right is going to be similar, where students are going to have above a 3.5 GPA. And as part of the program, they will be contributing to campus through going to different events that we have, as well as community service. But the main difference between the two is the amount covered. Honors is the $1,000 scholarship for the year, whereas Promise Scholars, you get 80% of your out-of-pocket experience here at Richard Bland covered, and then similar amounts at William & Mary when you transfer there. What it takes to get into Richard Bland, here's our breakdown for both freshmen and transfer students. So required documents is we need a completed application. This can be found on our website, rbc.edu, or part of the Common App. And the only required document is a copy of your high school transcript. This can be submitted through us by our email or by your counselor. There's a couple of different ways. Everything else is optional, whether it's test scores, letters of recommendation, or essays. Sometimes our staff will ask for these to kind of get a fuller picture, because we do complete a holistic review. So we look at your transcript, but also what else are you involved in. So these may be asked for, but they are not required at the beginning. So the only required document is that high school transcript. And then this is just our social media and ways to get in touch with us that apply at rbc.edu is our email address that comes into our office. So we have a couple different staff here in the admissions office that will look at that. So if you email that, it gets sent out to all of us, as well as that phone number is our main. And then there on the right is our social media. So if you want to follow along, we will have different events, because we do have an event coming up in November, which is the Pecan Festival / open house, where you can come on campus and walk around and check it out. And look forward to seeing y'all on campus soon.
Thank you so much, Richard Bland College of William & Mary. And now we'll have College of William & Mary.
All right, great. Thank you all for spending some time with us today. Appreciate you taking an hour out of your schedule today to learn more about some of the college options. So want to talk with you briefly about William & Mary and give you a sense of what our campus and student body is like. and hopefully give you an opportunity to come visit us at some point. I think if you don't know, William & Mary is the second oldest college in the United States. We date to 1693, so that building in the picture there on the right is the oldest academic building in the United States. We have a little unique historical background in that we were obviously founded well before the United States was started. So we've actually been a private college in our history longer than we've been a public school. We've also been British and American, so kind of a unique spot in the history of higher ed in the US. A little unique too in that we have 6,300 undergraduates and less than 3,000 graduate students. So among those mid-sized schools, again, there's not a lot of highly competitive medium-sized public schools in the US like William & Mary. And again, our graduate school numbers are relatively low. If you look at a lot of other medium-sized schools, there's oftentimes more graduate students than there are undergraduate students. So you're going to have that great access to faculty. And in fact, we've been ranked in the US News and World Report in the top 10 nationally among national universities for best undergraduate teaching for a number of years in a row now. So we have graduate students, but they don't teach any of the classes here. So 100% of the courses are taught by our faculty. And our student faculty ratio of 12:1 is about the lowest you'll find among public schools in the US. So in fact, over half of our classes are under 20 students. And in fact, we only have about 3% of our classes over 100 students, literally only about a dozen or so that are over 100. So you're going to get great access to faculty, and that shows through in a lot of ways on campus. You'll see that about 80% of our students engage in faculty mentored research while an undergraduate here. And these are programs that you just simply ask about. It's often not even something that you have to apply for. You just get with a professor and say, hey, I think what you're doing sounds pretty cool. So if they don't have space in their lab, they'll often just refer you to a colleague down the hall. So again, great access, small class size, opportunity for research. And again, if you look at the size of the institution, a lot of our graduate programs are not even on campus. We have the nation's oldest law school, but it's several blocks off campus, as is our School of Education and our Institute of Marine Science, which is 25 minutes away. So while we do have master's and PhD programs on campus, they're relatively small. You can actually get a PhD at William & Mary in programs like physics or computer science. So, but as a entering student, you do not have to declare that major till that sophomore year. So everybody comes in undecided, and ultimately about 2/3 of our students will end up graduating with more than a major. So very common to combine things in different ways. If you're like most of our students, you simply have a lot of academic passions, and you just simply follow those wherever they may go. And that's part of the excitement of that freshman year and the whole college experience, is that there's so many new things to try. So you are going to have that access to so many new things that you can take advantage of. You can see we have a really diverse campus. About 1/3 of our students are students of color, and we have students from all 50 states and about 68 foreign countries. So your classroom experience is just going to be that much stronger with students from all different backgrounds and experiences, and that's something we certainly look for in our applicant pool. We are generally looking for about a 65-35 split between our in-state and out-of-state students. In terms of our applicant pool, it's usually actually the opposite. We have 2/3 of our applicants are from out-of-state. So that's where that process is a little bit more competitive than the in-state process. But academically, the students are not much different, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. Obviously, we're known for rigorous academics, but there's so much more going on our campus than just academics. Do want to point out that our academic life is an extremely supportive and collaborative environment. Our students support each other a lot. There's a lot of group work and study together, a sense on campus that your success is my success. So there is a great support system on campus, not to mention a lot of resources to help make sure that you succeed during your career here. But 500 clubs and organizations and a school of 6,300 students is a lot. So you name it, we have it. You know, I put on there that we have our Fine and Performing Arts Center expansion reopening in 2022. So if you look at William & Mary, we don't have a ton of students that necessarily graduate in the arts, but we did have an alum up for an Emmy last night. If you watched the awards, we just have a lot of people engaged in the arts. So for example, we're up to 13 different a cappella groups at this point. I think we have 4 different improv groups. So again, you can be that student who is pre-med and still gets involved in a choir or a band or whatever. Everything is available to you. So plenty of great opportunities there. So just a really active campus. We are on the Common App, and we do have an early decision process as well as a regular decision process. So we look forward to hearing more from you.
All right. Thank you, College of William & Mary. If everyone could join me again with their videos, we'll have a quick Q&A, and we're going to start with Hollins University. Hollins University, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
I would say visit what colleges you can and be open to feeling like this might be the place for you, but also not having that moment of instantly knowing where you belong and leaving yourself open to looking at a bunch of different colleges before you decide on one. I think keeping yourself open to the experience and figuring out what you want is an important piece here. And it can be hard, and just be ready to acknowledge that maybe you don't immediately know where you want to go.
University of Richmond, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
One thing I would say about the University of Richmond is the ability to have the resource, and we call it the tough love. We're going to push you inside the classroom. We're also going to push you outside the classroom, because one thing we talk about here is we want you to have a great 4 years, but we're more worried about the next 40 years of your life. And knowing when you come to Richmond, that spider web, that web mentality of make sure you're taken care of will always be there with you during school, after you get done with school, and when you retire, you're always a spider for life.
James Madison University, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process?
Yeah, I think that I'd like to say that, you know, it may feel like you're just a statistic or just an application, but you're not. Even though all of our schools, we receive a lot of applications, we do really like to get to know you. And I know at JMU, we look at a personal statement. It's your chance to tell us about you and who you are and anything you want us to know. But even at other schools, if you don't get that opportunity, reach out to your admissions counselor, say hello, tell them who you are. We do like to know what's going on in your life and keep that into consideration. So just know that you do matter to us and you are more than just an application.
Thank you. Radford University, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
That is a great question. I would say choose the perfect college for you. There are over 3,000 universities across the United States, and there is a unique campus that's meant specifically for you. So don't choose a school that is where your parents want you to go to, or where your best friend is going. Choose a college that's going to be the best fit for you, both academically, financially, and socially.
Thank you. Richard Bland College of William & Mary, what's one thing you want students to remember about your school?
That we provide a pathway for students to go from us to other schools. So we have those 35 guaranteed transfer agreements. So don't look at it as you're just having a chance at one school. You're coming to us just for 2 years, kind of get experience with the college process, and then going on to those larger universities. So you're stepping on campus at those larger colleges, prepared for those last 2 years, because you've done your first 2 years here with us.
Thank you so much. And College of William & Mary, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process?
I think the main thing I always try to debunk is that your life is not determined by the college that you attend. That we're all here to make sure, and I think all of us do a great job making sure our students have the opportunity to be successful for the rest of their lives. And your perseverance and your hard work is what's going to carry you throughout the rest of your life.
All right, thank you. There are some answered questions and there are some unanswered questions in the Q&A. And so at this time, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. When I close this window, when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/PCACAC. Thank you. Have a great day.